You are commanding the field right now. And the problem is that most of the time you're not commanding what you want. Because if you think that it's your thoughts alone that are creating your reality, then that's the problem. That's why manifestation or creating isn't working for you. So I want to show you in this video the 6 core principles that are going to actually help you create more of the reality you want so that you command the field from a place that feels empowered and that shows you and reminds you the power that you have inside of you that creates worlds. So the first principle that we're going to talk about is that reality responds to state. So it is your state of being. Now, I know that you've heard people talking about the vibration that you're putting out. Everything actually is energy. And the energy, the vibrational frequency of that energy is going to either be, and I don't want to say attracting something from out there or repelling it, but it's either going to be in alignment with a version of you who is living that life simultaneously. So you're either in alignment with that frequency or you're not. So you're on a timeline. Well, we're going to get into timelines, but you are on a timeline right now that is based on your identity, your dominant state of being that comes from that identity. And that's the trajectory that you're moving towards. So reality will actually, when you look at the observer effect, will actually begin to rearrange itself based on your dominant state of being that comes from your identity. Identity is everything in the world of manifestation. And I'm not talking about the old manifestation culture. I'm talking about manifestation like biblical, the creation, the power that you have inside of you that literally creates worlds. You have this God particle inside of you. And it's like you have been so programmed to forget who and what you really are. And so you're operating from this identity that is creating a reality that's out of alignment with the truth of who you are. And so that's why a lot of the things that you have going on in your life don't feel good. They don't feel aligned. Even if it looks good on the outside, sometimes it doesn't always feel good on the inside because it's actually not in alignment with your highest potential version of you. Okay. The one that you were called to step into, the one that you were designed to be when you incarnated onto this planet. So that first core principle, that reality is responding to state, is really about your identity. It's how you see yourself. It's how you think. It's how you feel. And all of that creates your state of being. So your dominant state of being is either in a primal state or an empowered state. Okay. So I want you to think about yourself as if almost like you were a 3D printer. This is the second core principle. Okay. You're 3D printing reality from an old software. But most of the time, we're looking at reality out here. We're looking at what we have 3D printed. And we're thinking, well, this isn't right. This isn't what I want. This isn't the way that it's supposed to be. And it's because if you were looking at the printer as if it needed fixing, you're not going to the root of why that 3D printer, which is you, is actually printing that reality. What is going on? It's this old, outdated software that you have been running. And these old programs come from childhood traumas, comes from even your lineage, the things that you, like sometimes you have your mother, your mother's mother, and her mother's mother, and like just, for example, on the mother's side, you know, you actually have things that they experienced. And so they have created a way of being in their lives that, and a way of believing and a way of seeing themselves and a way of seeing reality that gets continually passed down. It's literally in your DNA at times. So This is why we have books like The Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton, where he's talking about epigenetics and how your DNA can change. We can change how your DNA is expressing itself by changing the environment. That's why frequency healing works, because you're shifting the frequency within the environment of the cell. And so what doesn't vibrate or what can't vibrate at that level has to dissolve and move away. So you are literally 3D printing your reality. You are a 3D printer. Okay. So if you look at that, you are literally creating the money, the relationships, the body, the environment around you, the circumstances based on what is being fed into that printer. Okay. So if you want to go deeper into that, there will be a video coming up where we talk about how to let go of the trauma of the past. And that will be in the next video that's coming up. So the third the third key principle that I want to talk to you about is that you're also addicted to stress. So a lot of times people say that your nervous system creates your bank account. And so you literally have this system, your nervous system, wired for survival. And when things happen, your mind obviously is this supercomputer that is also wired for survival, and it only knows what it knows from the past. So past evidence, the reticular activation system is always looking for the past evidence, and you're always noticing and seeing what is available, what is possible based on the past, and then you recreate it. And the nervous system gets on board. And then what happens when we think that there's something that puts us in a state of, or that is like making it dangerous for us to be alive. So like a low number in your bank account versus back in the old days, it might have been a face-eating cat. Right now, it's something like, a low bank account, or somebody saying something about you, or, it doesn't feel safe for you to show up and share your magic because what will people say? What will people think? And so you actually create the same environment inside of you that is shooting all of these chemicals through your body. Cortisol, the stress hormone, is the most addictive substance on this planet. It's actually more addictive than nicotine, more addictive than any drug, sugar. It's the most addictive substance on the planet. And so we're literally addicted to feeling like shit. We're literally addicted to being in a stressful place. And so in our bodies, a lot of times, chaos feels like home. Chaos is what is familiar. Stress, survival, this is what's familiar. Because you look and you go, but why am I creating the same things? Like, I don't want this. I don't want to be worried about whether or not I can hit that next level in my business next month. I don't want to be worried about paying the rent. I don't want to be worried about whether or not my husband's going to cheat on me. Why do I keep recreating these things all the time? Because you literally are wired to be in that state of survival, and it's addictive and it's familiar. And so you keep creating this loop, and the mind, like I said, goes to work, bringing you the evidence. So it's just like this whole looping system. So your nervous system will choose a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven every single time. So that is the third principle, or the third reason that is keeping you stuck in that looping state. Okay. So number 4, we have simultaneous timelines that are happening all at once. So this has already been proven in quantum physics. This isn't just me. It isn't woo. It's not just fake stuff. Okay. There are actually timelines. Okay. There are such a thing as timelines. They do exist. Sometimes we see collapsing these timelines as like how we create a quantum leap. So, what is actually happening is there are infinite timelines and there are infinite versions of you. There are infinite realities available. So, for example, when many years ago, I was in a very abusive relationship and I had all of these possibilities and potentials available to me. And the one that I could have chosen was that I would stay in this relationship and it would probably end, but I'd still probably have like a high probability of having more of the same kinds of relationships and just being in that same loop over and over. Like that is a possibility. That is a probability based on what's available. Okay. But then there's another timeline where, hey, I'm living a successful, happy, incredible life. I decided that no, I'm going to step out of this and get into a whole new way of living and being and create more of what I want and all of the things. And then there's another timeline where maybe I stood up and I became a multimillionaire. And then there's another timeline where I became a billionaire. And there's another timeline where I became broke and sad and whatever. Like it's all available. It's all available. And it's all simultaneously available. And so in every now moment, you have the opportunity to choose what timeline, what trajectory you want to align yourself with. And it's becoming in coherence with the identity of the version of you who is living that higher potential that actually is what shifts the timelines for you. Okay. This is something that we can do a whole video on. And so, but what I want to say for now is that, yeah, different choices in every now moment create a different outcome. Just like if you were on a plane and they literally shifted the final destination by 0.1 degree, you would end up in a whole different place. Right. So if they shifted the direction they were moving by the smallest micro amount, they would go down a different trajectory. They would end up in a different destination. And it's the same thing with your life. You have every now moment is available for you to choose different. Every now moment is an opportunity for you to say, what's available for me? Show me what's available for me. What do I really want to step into create right now? What do I really want for my life right now? And if I move in this direction, is that going to start moving me there? You don't need to know the whole unfolding of everything. You have to be able to trust and allow the unfolding to happen. So this is how we collapse timelines. This is how we get these quantum leaps, is by becoming coherent with the version of us who is living in that life, by starting to embody that version of themselves. Okay. So when you start to embody that version of yourself, the little things, the little habits, the little movements, they shift the trajectory over and over and over. It is inevitable for you to move into a higher position or a higher timeline if you continue to make these choices from that place in every now moment. Okay. So you get to choose. And that leads me into the fifth core principle. And that is awareness, because your awareness, when you are aware in every now moment, what is available for you. And of course, you can't spend your life being aware in every single now moment. Okay. Because we have infinite moments right now, but all you are is this moment. And you have 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and you can't control every single thought. But what you can do is check in with yourself. So one of the practices that I give with my clients is I want you to practice awareness every single morning. Check in with yourself, notice your breath, notice how you're feeling, notice what you're thinking, notice the sounds around you, notice what's going on, notice how your body feels. This is an awareness practice. This is different from meditation. And what this does is it helps you to become more in a habitual state of noticing what's going on around you. So if you start to check in, so you have that little awareness practice in the morning, and then you start to check in with yourself throughout the day, set an alarm if you have to. and you stop and you say, what am I thinking right now? What am I feeling? What's my dominant state of being? What am I feeling more than anything else? Because we can't turn off the thoughts. Dr. Joe Dispenza says that I heard him say this, like, I don't know, years and years ago, and I don't listen to him very often, but I used to listen to him many years ago. And I remember that he said that the average person spends almost 90%, so it's like 87% of their time in a state of survival. And also, that is coming from the same thoughts that they're having, where 90% of those thoughts are repetitive thoughts. And then 95% of those thoughts are not, well, I'm going to say negative because I know we don't have positive, negative, whatever, but most of them are not thoughts that are in alignment with our highest potential. Okay. So let's just say that most of the time we're thinking the same thoughts over and over again about, what if this doesn't work? What if I can't pay that bill? What if my kids do this? What if my husband does that? Like, what if, right? And we're always, we're programmed that way. Like, that's just the way it is. So it takes you having that level of awareness in order to shift all of that. Awareness truly is the doorway. You're not creating reality from emotion and thoughts alone, right? It is who you're being, it's who you see yourself as. So you aren't the emotion. You experience the emotion. You aren't, like, emotions aren't good or bad. They're just like the part of being this human in this human experience, and you get to feel it. You get to feel the richness of the heartbreak and the richness of the joy. Like, it's all a part of being a human, but you're not meant to hold it and carry it and weigh yourself down. Again, what is available for you is in this now moment to feel what you're feeling. And then from that place, then choose what it is that you're moving towards, no matter what. This is not bypassing. This isn't sweeping it under the rug and picking a happy thought when you feel like shit. This is actually allowing yourself to feel what you feel, noticing that you feel it. Notice that you are not it. You're not the depression. You're not even the sickness. You're not any of that. It's what you're experiencing. And you get to experience more of what you do want. You have the opportunity to choose what is available for you that feels good, because there are infinite possibilities available to you at any given time. And those possibilities could be that you go down a spiral, a shame spiral, an unhappiness spiral, and you go and you align yourself with those stories and those identities, and that's where you go. Or you can actually choose what else is available, which is your higher timeline. And what else is available? Okay, so this is what I'm moving through, and this is what I feel about it. What else is available for me? Well, actually, I get to create more of what I want to create. And so I'm going to choose that version of me. And what is that version of me? How is she being most of the time? What are the things that she does? What are some of the habits that she has? What are some of the qualities that she has? And you start doing and being that version so that you can have the life that that version of you is having. Okay. So the sixth part is that I want you to know that you are always commanding the field, like I said in the very beginning. But what if you command the field from a place that feels empowered? And when you are in a primal state, this is where you are in resistance. You're in resistance to what is, you're in resistance to what's going on around you. You're judging, you're fearing, you're in resistance. Okay. And if you were to actually have a desire that you wanted something really amazing, and then immediately your mind and your body comes in and says, oh, here's all the reasons why you can't have it, or it's not safe, or we're not going to take that action because that doesn't feel familiar, or I don't know what's going to happen. So, you can be in that place, right? Or you can move into non-resistance by saying, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know this here is not something that I want to keep repeating. So I'm just going to let go of all the reasons why I can't. And I'm going to have a look at all the reasons why it's available. And I'm going to make a move, even though I don't know what's on the other side, because I'm going to trust that the next step and the next doorway is going to open for me. I'm going to trust that God has got my back, that I am backed by heaven, that I am fully funded, that I am this conduit of magic that I get to move through this human experience with. Okay. And I don't mean that in a woo kind of way, although I love it, but I mean it in a way that you actually have the power to shift and create your reality. We are all living in this simulation, but it's how you observe and how you experience reality that creates more of the same or something entirely different. And you have an opportunity, you have the opportunity in every now moment to actually choose what else is available. To, even if you don't even know what's available, ask what else is available. Well, this is great. I'm experiencing this, or this sucks. I'm experiencing this. But what else is available for me? What else is available that moves me into the higher place, that aligns me with the version of me who is living the life of my dreams? What else is available for me? This is how you start to command the field. When there are 3 steps to commanding the field, and that is just, who am I being? How do I see myself? When you answer this, I am the one who, what comes to mind right off the bat? Because for a lot of us, it's like, I'm the one who has to work really hard for money. I'm the one who always struggles. I'm the one who messes things up. I'm the one who, negative, right? What if you could shift into, again, negative, positive, but you know what I'm saying? I'm using this to keep things simple. But what if you could choose a more positive way of seeing what's available for you? So, noticing who am I being and what's available for me, instead of saying, I'm the one who, you know, down the lower timeline, I'm the one who actually gets to choose my reality. I'm the one who is a child of the divine, and I have the power within me that creates worlds. I'm the one who gets to experience new things. I'm the one who, so it doesn't have to be like, I'm the one who is a multimillionaire, bajillionaire when you're like worried about paying your rent, but you can absolutely be that masterpiece in the making. So I'm the one who is like moving towards creating the money, the business, and the joy and the peace and all of the fun that I want to have in my life. I'm the one who gets to experience more magic. I'm the one who is open to receiving more magic. I'm the one who gets to create my reality. So the first part is noticing who you're being. Okay. When it's not in alignment with your highest potential, then choose different. And this is what interrupts that pattern. That's the second piece. There's 3 pieces, right? It's noticing and then interrupting that pattern. So am I in my empowered self or am I in my survival self? Just notice and choose differently, interrupt that pattern, and then command, who am I choosing to be now? So this is how you command the field. Who am I choosing to be now? Not what am I choosing to do now, but who am I choosing to be now? The way that we get to have what we want in this world is not by doing and then being and then having, or doing and then having and then being. That's the big one that most people do. They think that if they do the thing, then they will have the thing and then they will be the thing, which is happy, rich, fun, loved, whatever it is, right? And so it's actually, who are you being that is creating and arranging reality for you? The universe is a benevolent universe. It can only respond in a way that says yes, right? So the universe is always saying yes to you. But it's like, when you look at your reality, are you looking at reality in the universe and God as if it's an enemy? Or are you looking at what's available for you? And so, whatever it is that you believe, whatever it is, the way that you see yourself is going to be the universe responding yes. And that's it. So there is no, I don't think that. No, I'm going to give you all the good stuff anyway, even though, life sucks. Right. So it actually works in a way where this is why a lot of people say, well, why are all these horrible people the richest people? Because they actually know that they know who they are. They know the power they have. They know what's available for them. And they just choose and decide, right? That's all. It's a way of being. And through that being, then you get ideas of what you could be doing in order to be having, right? So that's how it works. Be, do, have, right? So, this is how you command the field. This is how you align with the timelines that I call it temporal identity coherence. There's a version of you here and there's a version of you here. And then there's a gap in between. So we want to dissolve the gap. We want to shift a timeline or jump a timeline. That's how you do it. And as you start to embody more and more of that version, it's inevitable and you will have a quantum leap. But just beware of the quantum leap. Before the quantum leap, a lot of times there is the quantum crumble. And in that quantum crumble, it's the releasing, the breaking down, the unraveling of everything that isn't you, everything that doesn't align, everything that isn't that higher potential version of you has to go. And sometimes that's painful. And sometimes it's hanging on for dear life. But you've got to be committed and you've got to move. And it's just the little things that you're doing and the ways that you're being that are going to shift that for you. Okay. So in our next video, we're going to be talking about repatterning that identity and letting go of the old trauma, the old beliefs, the old actual pain and burden that you have been carrying, whether it's from your childhood, from your life experience, or even your lineage. And we're going to look at how you can let that go. And I'm going to walk you through it. And it's going to be amazing. So I will see you in the next video.